Welcome in. It's another edition of the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, joined by our coach of the University of Pikeville Bears, Kelly Wells. He's a Kentucky State champion. He's an NAIA national champion, Kentucky Coach of the Year, also NAIA National Coach of the Year, and he'll take our UPike Bears 26-6 to the national tournament in Kansas City. And that tournament's set to get underway on March 13th. Coach Kelly Wells, the Bears coming off Mid-South Conference runner-up. I know runner-up, never satisfied with that, but tough tournament, 3 days, 3 games, the toughest basketball conference in the NAIA. Let's talk about your thoughts on your team's play over the weekend.
Well, we had some just tremendous moments. Even our last 6 games were a really tough schedule for us. I think it wore us down. Our last 6 games were either a neutral site or on the road.
Sure.
And those 6 games were played in 10 days. So, I mean, it was a lot of good basketball and important basketball crammed into a small period of time, and couldn't be prouder of our guys. Obviously, the championship, we wanted to win that. We gave a great effort. We put our heart and soul into it. Played very, very good basketball for 2 nights, and just that third night, gave ourselves the opportunity to win even when we didn't play that well collectively as a team. But for the coaching side of things, I was very proud of our young men. I thought we represented our school the right way. Yes, we'd have liked to have had that championship, but you know the beautiful part was when we went in the locker room, I didn't have to say, you know, we're going to put our uniforms on mothballs. We've got a lot of basketball left to play.
Absolutely, and of course the Bears already in the NAIA National Tournament, Kansas City, March 13th. We'll talk more about that. Currently ranked 10th in the country, heading into the Mid-South Conference Tournament. You get wins over St. Catherine, 5-point win against a very tough team that was playing for its lives. It needed a conference championship to get in. Georgetown, 91-76, and then in Sunday's championship game, Lindsey Wilson a chance to win down the stretch. It goes to overtime. These two teams both realizing they're already in the national tournament, but playing like it was absolutely on the line. What do you attribute that to?
It's Championship Sunday. You know, everybody wants to have that championship, and they had the regular season conference, and we wanted to get the tournament championship. We wanted both of them, and just it came down to stretch who was going to make the last play, and they made a short little run in overtime that we didn't match,
right,
and ended up getting the victory. But it was a well-played game for the most part. I'm sure the audience and the TV people and the people that were there had a great view from it. From our side, it just stunk. The result did, but
sure,
nonetheless, couldn't be prouder of our guys. I thought we battled, and we had guys that were tired, worn out, had the toughest way through that tournament. We could throw every excuse in the book, but we still gave ourselves opportunities to win. It just didn't work out for us.
What was the mindset of the team after the game?
They were crushed.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of guys that were really crushed. I mean, you look at those faces that have been through the program for a long time, some new faces, and they put their heart and soul into it. I mean, to play as well as we did against Georgetown and fight off a St. Catherine's team that was just starving, hungry to win.
Right.
We put a lot out there, put our hearts and souls out there, and just came up a little bit short. But you know, we let them sulk for 48 hours, and we got back to work on Monday.
Looking back, you head to the national tournament, of course. On Wednesday, we'll find out where the Bears are in the national tournament, who their opponent is, when they'll play. We'll take a look at that. You still have that to rest on, the national tournament bid. Looking back, would you rather go into the tournament with that loss, making your team hungry again, or would you go in as a team that's riding a long win streak?
I like that win streak. I guess that's how I'm built. I'm not
Sure.
much on a collective loss, so to speak. And we've talked several times that probably is a good loss in some ways. And we don't look at losses more as learns, but it's a good learning experience. And I made our guys sit and watch them do the trophy presentation,
right,
and give that trophy to Lindsey Wilson in front of us. So they hated losing as bad as I hate to lose, and hopefully they'll want to be on the other side of that come next week.
Lindsey Wilson ranked 3rd in the country last week, UPike number 10 in the country. The ratings come out on Wednesday prior to the selections being announced from Kansas City. Do you expect change possibly in the top 10?
I do. There's been some upsets in some conference tournaments that'll move some things around, I think, which in return helps us a lot of ways. I think Lindsey has proven they're a top 3 team. I think they'll stay around 3. We're at 10 right now. We've got a chance to slide to anywhere in that gap, 7 to 10. Hopefully Georgetown will not fall. Hopefully they'll hover around 13, 15. And we're trying our best to sneak Campbellsville in towards the bottom 20, 25. but there's been a lot of upsets. So cross your fingers for our conference teams, as we wish as many of those get out there as possible. I think our women's side, we're going to have maybe 5 teams get in on the women's side, possibly 6. So, which should happen in the men's side too, by the way. That we need to do some research on our side as well. We're as strong on the men's side as the women's, and I'd like to see those teams deservingly get in. But nonetheless, I think it'll be interesting to see. But I think that's kind of the way it'll play out.
UPike 26-6 after the Mid-South Conference tournament, and of course the NAI tournament selections coming up on Wednesday. We talk about ratings. Important when the national tournament gets around, when selections come around. But really during the regular season, they don't mean a lot. These final ratings that come out on Wednesday out of Kansas City, how important are they to the national tournament seeding for the folks that are tuned in?
They're the ultimate test. I mean, they're what we go by. You know, that top 25 means a significant amount. You know, obviously your at-large bids are very important to try to get a hold of, but you know, we're blessed in our league to have 2 automatic qualifiers with 11 teams, so us and Lindsay get in automatically. But you know, those at-large teams are built just on that poll, and you know, if they get outside that top 25, you're taking a big risk of not getting in the tournament, and just being in that bottom 23, 24, 25 is tough to get into. So it's ultimately what you play for. And you know, we talk about how it's not really important throughout the season, but if you take some bad losses early on, you know, that might be the thing that separates you from that 20 to 25 area. So it's important to play all season, but it's critical towards the end.
I remember back in 2011, there was a certain at-large team that was very excited to get into the national tournament. We want to talk about that when we come back. You're tuned to the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We talk UPike basketball, and the Bears men team currently ranked 10th in the country. Mid-South Conference tournament runners-up, and on the way to the national tournament in Kansas City. It's going to be a great ride. If you're not on the train just yet, it might be time to join the bandwagon and join us in Kansas City. We're talking UPike basketball. We'll talk more about the ratings, the upcoming national tournament, and where the Bears land. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Right back after this. Welcome back in. The Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, joined by the head coach of the University of Pikeville men's basketball team, currently ranked 10th in the country and on the way to the Mid-South, or to the national tournament in Kansas City. That selection to be announced on Wednesday, and of course, coming up Wednesday night, Booth Auditorium on the UPike campus. Folks are invited to join the Bears. A lot of the student body will be there. Bears supporters will be there. And the program gets started about 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. We want folks to be there and sharing the success of this program and where we are now, and find out where the Bears land in Kansas City. Talk a little about the show coming up Wednesday.
Well, as kind of I recollect a little bit today, that was kind of where the ball got rolling for us. You know, we got the excitement built up, and our players got excited about the opportunity to play the #1 team in the country at that time, and to get ourselves going. And the community joined us there, the student body. It was just a neat, fun time, and it won't be any different this time. We're going to have some activities. We've got a What's Up Wednesday day where Andrea Ray and her staff are going to do some cooking out front at 7:30. Kids come on down. They'll do some special things, and then right after that at 8, we'll start the show. And of course, obviously, you'll be emceeing it and going through the works. Everybody will be there to celebrate. And 8:15, they'll display who we're going to be playing. So it's exciting. And about 8:16, we'll start preparing for whoever we play for. So as a staff, it's hurry up and get busy time. And but it's a good time for our community. It's a good time for our fans. We also get to honor our cheerleaders, by the way, who are Mid-South Conference champions. And for all intensive purpose, that's the highest level that they can compete. So we'll just call them the national champions too, because they have done a great job, and they're there at all our events, and they're actually going to ride with us. So it'll be a good trip for us, and looking forward to celebrating with them too.
Jeannie Stone does a tremendous job with a cheerleading squad, and she's done a tremendous job with the UPike cheerleaders. Congratulations to them, Mid-South Conference cheerleading champions, and traveling to Kansas City. We look forward to that. Thinking back, we talked about those 2011 champions, and just a couple of years ago, we stood in Booth Auditorium. You and I talked, and the selections were announced from Kansas City. I think we had an idea the Bears were going to be in the national tournament, but went in as an at-large bid. How different is it for you this time, knowing that you're in as an automatic qualifier, as opposed to being an at-large team that was really at the mercy of the selection committee and expecting to be there, but not positive until it was announced?
Well, it's a stressful time. I mean, one, I was kind of a rookie in the whole understanding of the process. One, the unknown scares you to death anyway, and then not for sure being whether we're in, we're out, we're close, who we're going to play. The guys are asking me questions I don't have answers for.
Right.
So I was on pins and needles a little bit. This time we can sit back and know we're in, but then it's a lot of busy stuff to try to iron out what we're going to do. But now we know the procedures for the national tournament. We know, we're not the rookie on the street anymore.
Yeah. Kelly Wells, how does it change preparations for not just the basketball part of it? You'll start that Wednesday after selections are made. You'll start collecting video of the teams you'll play. You'll take a look at the bracket. I'm sure your assistant coaches will be breaking down video of teams all the way through the bracket, preparing for a long run in Kansas City. But knowing the process, you'd been there as a Kentucky State champion. You'd been to Rupp Arena. You knew the whole deal with the Sweet 16. The NAIA National Tournament, different feller, and it was all new. How are preparations different? Not just the basketball part, but the travel, getting the team there, workouts before the tournament, and then now you'll have a week to prepare for your opponent as well.
It is unique, but the unique part about our basketball at our level is there's nothing consistent about it. I mean, we don't play on a Tuesday immediately after school. You get on a bus and you go to your Tuesday game. Immediately after school Friday, you go to your basketball game. Everything's different here. You got weekend travel, you have some weekday travel, you'll have some overnight trips, you'll have some down and back trips. So the part of being kind of unconventional, the kids are used to a little bit. I'm superstitious, so we try to keep them in as much routine as we can, but there's certain times you just can't. The national tournament's one of those. You may play at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday.
Right.
You may play at midnight on a Thursday.
Yes.
So you have to be prepared for everything, and our practice schedules vary a lot, so that helps us in that regard. We play our games at different times, so that helps us. None at 8 o'clock, thank goodness, but we hope to get a few 8 o'clock games. That'd be fine. We've had pretty good success at that, having pregame at 5 in the morning. But the inconsistency of the tournament kind of fits our level. I mean, we just have some of those kind of things. You just have to deal with it, and our guys are mature enough to handle those things.
Right. Travel, of course, you've been there, done that now. A lot of uncertainties before. Now you're familiar with the downtown area of Kansas City, the places to eat, the places to stay. And we were talking before we came back on air. The Bears in 2011 stayed at the Aladdin Hotel. It's a half a block from the Coliseum, where the national tournament is held there in Kansas City, and we find out that that's where the Bears will stay again. How did that work out?
Well, I'll just be frank. I called the Aladdin and their management and said, listen, we're staying at your place.
Yes.
And I asked them to take us on as a host as well. And she said, well, I have a way of making those kind of things happen. I said, well, I would really be thankful if you would do that. And she called me the next afternoon and said, it's worked out. You're staying with us. We're your host again. And being a superstitious person, that helped me a lot. I felt very comfortable with that. We're actually taking the same bus that we took the last time. We didn't get the same driver, but we'll make sure that we'll do our best. We'll just kind of put a fat head maybe behind him of our home driver. But we're excited about it. And I know those superstitious are kind of tacky in some ways. We know the play matters, but our guys are excited. That 14-hour trip will go by very fast. We'll get up there and have an opportunity. Kansas City is a beautiful place. We've had great memories there. We want to spread that orange love around town as best we can. People were yelling "Go Bears" every time we went around the corner when we were there last time. So we like to get that mojo going again.
Absolutely. And, of course, Kansas City did fall in love with Pikeville in 2011 as we got to experience that. What do you attribute that to? The fact that this is a metropolitan place, that the NAIA tournament's a big deal. It's not the NCAA Final Four, but Kansas City, they love the NAIA tournament. Of course, it's the home city of the NAIA, but they really fell in love with this Bears team a couple of years ago. Why do you think they did?
You know, it just kind of you wear that on your face. I mean, and just it's something about people from Pikeville, and it's just we're different. I mean, we're just different. People see it on our face. I don't know. I mean, the management there took on to it. They started wearing our pep shirts around. They'd wear them to the games, and we'd have people come out stand and say, "Hey, how can we get those T-shirts?" And people would be driving by our hotel and see, a collection of people in orange, want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And there is a great turnout for games. I mean, the crowds are tremendous there. Municipal Auditorium is a beautiful arena, and it just kind of got contagious. Hopefully our year off doesn't dispel any of that, and hopefully we get it started back again. But I think it has to do with our kids and our people, and they just kind of fell in love with us.
You've got some newcomers, but you've also have some guys on the team that were a part of that 2011 season. Of course, Trevor Setti, National Tournament MVP in 2011. How does it help the other guys that haven't been there before with these guys that can share the experiences?
Well, I think having some stability, no matter what you're doing, somebody at least knows what's forecasted helps in some ways. I mean, coaches can tell them, and I can say, listen, this is going to be a tough deal to get up at 5 in the morning and get ready by 8 o'clock. But then when you have a player who also reiterates and hammers it through, then it becomes factual to them. They can kind of grasp that. So I think it helps in that way. Just knowing your way to the gym, knowing your way to the locker room, it's just a little more comfortable feeling. And the warm-ups and the procedures of shooting at halftime and the shorter warm-up periods is good to have somebody that's been through that and actually been a participant in that. And Trevor, we need to rely on him to give us the good mojo there in regards to that.
There you go. Talking about the University of Pikeville Bears, they're an automatic qualifier to the NAI National Tournament. It gets started March 13th in Kansas City Municipal Auditorium. The scene, the Bears go in 26-6, and the national ratings to be released Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday evening, we'll find out where the Bears are. And let's talk about the basketball process now. You get the selections Wednesday night. You've got basically a week to prepare. What will the Bear coaching staff encounter? What will they be doing in the course of a week, besides traveling to Kansas City later on toward the end of the weekend? But basketball preparation, what kind of scouting takes place?
Well, thank goodness we got most of the paperwork and the logistics taken care of yesterday and today, so that's kind of behind us a little bit. We just show up and go. But basketball stuff is, we've always preached this from the beginning of the season. We're going to worry about us, and the other team's kind of an X. So we're going to really hammer home who we are and really try to polish out some things that we're doing. We'll probably add an offense, maybe add a wrinkle or two to a defense that we may need down the stretch. But we're going to really focus on us. Now, my coaches will have every opponent that we play down pat 100%. Our players will know them too. We'll have videos, we'll have scouts, we'll have all of that, and we'll do our due diligence there. But it's my job to make sure our guys understand that our identity is good enough. Right. It's been good enough. It'll always be good enough, and we have to play to our style of play. And that X on the other end, whoever that opponent is, just better hope that we're trying to be somebody different, because when we're us, we're pretty darn good.
Absolutely. Kelly Wells, as you prepare for this tournament, let's look back to 2011 as you went into the national tournament then. How confident were you that your team could bring home the trophy in Kansas City on your way there?
By nature, I'm a pretty confident person. Sure. I believe in what we do. I believe that what we do works. But in all reality, as you look at what we had ahead of us, it was an overwhelming feeling. I mean, and I think to some degrees it worked our favor, because you couldn't look forward. It gave you no opportunity to look forward. You play OBU in the first round, and Kevin Swinton is your first post player you've got to face. You don't look forward. And then you play Azusa, you don't look forward. And you play Robert Morris, you don't look forward. So in a lot of ways, we really had to take it game by game. I know we say that a lot, but we had to. I mean, there was no chance of us looking forward, or we had no prayer.
Underdog in every game, including the first.
Yeah, and they would write our name, our opponent's name out in front as they advanced to the next stage, until they finally said, let's wait till the end, because the Bears will come out on top. And I truly believe it wouldn't have mattered if you put the Celtics in that final game. We were going to win. Right. I felt like our guys were that dialed in, and just was so much karma, and good Lord was looking out for us. I just felt like we were going to get that.
Special time, 2013 as well. Heading to the national tournament in Kansas City. As you go in now, a team ranked in the top 10 in the country. We expect to be there or higher when selections are announced. Kelly Wells, your thoughts heading to this tournament?
Well, I think it's a big deal for our guys. I think it's a big deal for our program. It's only the 7th time, I think, in our school's history we've been to a national tournament in men's basketball, and that's something we want to continually do. And I said this in 2011, we want to be a team that's here every year that you see, and it has a tradition of long-standing national tournament appearances, and this is part of the process. We got off track a little bit last year and got it dialed back in, and hopefully to keep that moving along. So it's a big deal for our program. It's a big deal for our players and, our seniors that are going out. And it seems like, gosh, you look at a guy like Trevor Setti, this will be the first time in, gosh, a long time that he won't be in my sideline, thinking about him graduating and moving on. So there's some emotional ties that are hard for me to deal with. So it makes it even more important for me to see a guy like Deuce Briscoe who's come to this program and just put it on fire. It's just been great. And to see him and some of these guys like Josh Whitaker and Elijah Justin, and we can go on and on and on.
Sure.
We got a guy playing with a half leg, at center, Terrence St. Till, that's giving everything he can to get our program to the national tournament. So it means a lot. So hopefully we'll represent that correctly. Our community's been great. I know we'll have a lot of people travel. People are asking me where we're staying so they can get rooms and trying to get transportation worked out. And it's exciting. It's fun. We just got to keep our guys focused on making the main thing, and that's being us.
Absolutely. Talking UPike basketball, UPike head basketball coach Kelly Wells, and we're talking about the University of Pikeville Bears trip to the national tournament. Selection show coming up Wednesday night at 8, Booth Auditorium on the UPike campus. You're invited to join us there, and you're invited to join us in Kansas City as well as we travel with the Bears looking to bring back another national championship. When we come back, we'll talk more about the national tournament appearance upcoming for the Bears, some Mid-South Conference awards as well, and we'll get set for the national tournament selection. You're tuned to the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Andrew Joyce, along with the head coach of the UPike men's basketball team, Coach Kelly Wells, 26-6 Mid-South Conference tournament runners-up, and heading to the national tournament in Kansas City. The selections to be announced on Wednesday. Coach, we want to back up just a few days, back to the Mid-South Conference tournament. Of course, season awards handed out prior to the Mid-South Conference tournament. Jamar Deuce Briscoe named Mid-South Conference Player of the Year, and also yesterday named Mid-South Conference Player of the Week from last week. Deuce Briscoe, he's meant a lot to this program.
He really has, and I think he'll be the first one to tell you how much he appreciates his teammates and his coaches, and he's been a reflection of what we want to be about. He's been very humble and just kind of went about his job. He's just been a great team guy. Just so happens his role was significantly in the scoring area and minutes played, and everybody's got a significant role in our team, but his is a leadership type role, and we had 2 players that were up for that award, Trevor Setti being the other, and you couldn't have gone wrong with either party, but I think Deuce has certainly in the tournament shown he's an outstanding player. It's now his 3rd time for Player of the Week as well this last week, and Trevor's got it 1 week as well. So we've got a nice complexion of a duo there, and I thought both of those are All-Americans, and they'll be named All-Americans.
Trevor Setti also named Mid-South Conference first team. He was in the running for Player of the Year, and I think 7 double-doubles on the year. Trevor's become a complete player, someone very different than what we saw 2 years ago when he was a guy that was basically a shooter and a scorer from outside.
And no question, he's really developed, and it's been because of his hard work. I mean, he's gotten better. His experiences have been very, very good. I think he got that fire started in the national tournament 2 years ago, and he had averaged 14 rebounds a game in the national tournaments.
Yeah.
And I think that carried over. He saw how good he could be and the whole package that he could put together, and that'll not only help him as we go in the national tournament this year, but it'll help him in his career as he goes overseas and plays as well.
Yeah. These are a couple of guys that they won't see their last basketball in Kansas City regardless if they win a national championship. These are two guys that are going to play basketball for a while.
No question. Both of them have long careers ahead of them, and the second we get done with the season, wherever that stops, that's what we'll turn focus to on those guys. Our seniors is getting them jobs, getting them graduated, getting them overseas, whatever applies to each one of those. We've got several seniors. Some are going to get into coaching and teaching, and others are going to try to keep playing. So we'll get them to their professions as soon as we can, and but we've got to get them dialed in to get those degrees finished up too.
Absolutely. Let's get a national championship win. Prior to that, graduation, jobs, overseas, whatever the case may be. Also at the Mid-South Conference Tournament, of course, the UPike cheerleaders, again, we want to give a shout out there. Congratulations on a Mid-South Conference cheerleading championship. Maybe the first in school history?
Could be.
I think so.
I know it's the first in school history to have Mid-South Conference cheerleading champion, Coach of the Year champion, and Cheerleader of the Year champion, all in the same crew. So applauds to them. I thought that was wonderful. And not to mention a lot of our female, I think we had 7 women's basketball players that were academic all-conference.
Absolutely.
We had 2 in Josh Whitaker and Chris Johnson. Just a neat overall. Governor Patton went with us to the banquet, and Dr. Overton went with us as well. So it was neat to honor those folks and see what a good job they were doing.
Absolutely.
And I was a little disappointed in voting that Chris Johnson didn't make at least second team all conference. I mean, he led the Mid-South Conference in assists and steals. He was top 5 in 10 different statistical categories that a point guard holds. But again, you throw point guard stats out there, and it pales in comparison to a score and so on and so forth. So I was a little disappointed in that, but I've got Chris on my first team anyway.
There you go. He's on first team with us as well.
No question.
Hey, he's been one of our favorites, and we still think he's a premier point guard in the country on the NAIA level. National Tournament, the selection show, coming up Wednesday, Booth Auditorium. We want to invite folks there, but also folks to make the trip to Kansas City if they can't. They can tune in, of course, to Z-Rock, and we'll have complete coverage of the entire national tournament run. Coach Kelly Wells, maybe a message for the Bears fans as we prepare for the national tournament.
Well, we're thankful for the opportunity to represent our school. I mean, that's the bottom line, and we don't have this opportunity if our administrators and our fans and our school doesn't put the kind of commitment they do into the program. And it's our obligation to handle it with the right type of people, and you'll be proud of these guys. We're going to work hard. We're going to go out there and represent our school as best we can, and you never know, we may have a satellite campus someday in Kansas City. We'll be out there so much.
NAIA headquarters in Kansas City, UPike moving in, and here we go. The national tournament, 32 teams. It gets started on the 13th. If you had a preference, play early in the tournament and sit back and watch for a while, or would you rather be later in the first round?
Give me that Wednesday game. I'll take that. Give me a day off the next day to prepare a little bit for whomever we have after that. It's deemed the toughest tournament in basketball, and it's a tough tournament. I mean, you think about all that you have to do, including the travel and the stay and all that. It is extremely tough, but boy, it's valuable, and you feel very good about it when you have an opportunity to win that sucker.
You and I talked before the championship game in Kansas City in 2011, and you can think that superstitions are silly all you want, but those of us that have been around sports, superstitions are a part of athletics, and I have a championship suit. I plan on packing that for Kansas City. Again, I've got to ask the question, how many suits do you pack?
Pack 5, baby.
Yes, sir. So you've got a championship suit as well.
You got that right.
That's
you got that right.
Kelly Wells, and we're preparing for the national tournament in Kansas City. We're packing 5 suits. We're packing 5 pressed shirts, and we'll be there ready to celebrate a Bears national championship again in downtown Kansas City. We'll have breakfast after the national championship game again.
We will.
Coach Kelly Wells, head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears. We wish the Bears best of luck. We'll see you at the selection show. We'll look forward to the national tournament, and we'll look forward to cutting down the nets in Kansas City again with a little barbecue sauce on our fingers.
I can't wait. Just for all the entire process just gives me chills to think
Absolutely.
about getting the opportunity to do it again.
Coach Kelly Wells, we're proud of Coach Kelly Wells. We're proud of our University of Pikeville Bears basketball program, regardless of the record. It's a program you can be proud of as well. We're preparing for the national tournament run. We invite you to join us. Well, it's going to be a heck of a run, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Stay with us and tune in to the selection show tomorrow night at 8 on Z-Rock 107.5. It's the Bears Selection Show live from Booth Auditorium at the University of Pikeville. On behalf of Kelly Wells, the entire UPike Bears program, I'm Andrew Joyce. Thanks for tuning in.